This game looks very cute, right? But you might be forgetting the fact that it's an RPG at heart, and you have 14 lives to choose from, which can be a little bit overwhelming. What I'm gonna do today is break down the trailers that we've seen so far, and I'm going to translate whatever I can to make sure that you know everything about these lives and pick the right one for you. I will be streaming and reviewing the game on PC and Switch, so make sure you squish the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out. Now, Fantasy Life is what's called a slow life RPG. What the heck does that even mean? It focuses on day-to-day gameplay with 14 lives or classes that you can choose from, beautiful environments to explore, if it's anything like the 3DS version, and you have what's called a slow pace approach, where it kind of also means there's a lot of grinding involved. Because of the cutesy art style, some of you might forget that this is a role-playing game at heart, so things like stats and skills are gonna play a role when you're building your character. In the 3DS game, you were able to play through the whole main story using only one life. This is why a lot of people preferred working on one life for the story campaign and then going back and dabbling in the other lives later on. However, in this new entry, we don't know if the quests will require you to try other classes. Regardless, the real essence of this game is increasing your mastery of different lives, and the grind is the name of the game. I don't know about you, but I love juggling through different lives, so I'm gonna be playing pretty much all of them. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the lives, because you need to know about this so you make the right decision for you. In the 3DS version, you start at the base ranking called Novice, and after you complete or skip the tutorial, you can start to level up to a Fledgling, Apprentice, and so on. Each life's rank will give you an increase in the main stats and a bit more in substats. While we're not 100% sure how the leveling system is gonna work in this one, we can still pretty much speculate that we will have to rank up these lives, because this is pretty much the essence of Fantasy Life games. So have that in mind if you're interested in mastering any of your lives. Despite being able to focus only on one life if you want to in the story campaign in the OG game, grinding some lives will still require you dabble in other ones. And this seems to be the same thing in this entry. For example, we got a trailer for the cook life, and we were shown that cooking still requires farming and angling to get the ingredients. Or for example, carpentry still required us to woodcut to get resources, etc. The good thing is that in the recent gameplay trailers, we can see that after you sign up for a new life and you become rank 1, it's very easy for you to switch between lives. You can approach a gatherable spot and simply click a button to switch, which is a massive quality of life update. If you played the OG game, you know that it was really annoying having to go to the guild every time to change our lives, and it was very, very tedious. And this is where I'm gonna remind you, because this is an RPG, you're gonna have different stats, which in the 3DS version were as follows: Strength, Vitality, Intelligence, Focus, Dexterity, and Luck. If you notice in the new trailers, for example, when you're fighting, the luck stat can pop up. Each life will make use of certain stats, so it would be wise to allocate the right points into your base life stats. If this entry is anything like the 3DS game, I would recommend looking also after your luck, because some items are very hard to spawn, so luck is gonna be your best friend. If you mess up, you can still reset your stats, at least you could in the 3DS version, so it's gonna be interesting to see if we can only do so by paying in this new game, or if we can get that little mirror that lets us reset our stats for free. And you might be wondering, Bubbles, I just want to know, like, about lives. Why are you even telling me all of this? Well, I hate to break it to you, but these points are important for the lives that you're gonna choose, so if you want to have an easy time, you need to know about this. So for example, strength is crucial for mining, woodcutting, and a lot of your attacks that come from various weapons, except for attacks that come from your bow and dagger. Focus, on the other hand, is gonna help you a lot with cooking and fishing, whereas intelligence is gonna be a must for alchemy and magical defense and magical attacks. So you get the drift, you're gonna have to pay attention to stats whether you like it or not. I'm very happy to see that Level 5 has been very generous with the gameplay trailers. They have been showing us a lot about different lives. We have, I think, 8 of them, and then we can see the other ones that weren't covered through other trailers. So let me show you and help you out. Now, if you're already a fan of RPGs, we can start you off with one of the combat lives. So you have 4 combat lives to choose from depending on how you usually like to approach combat in games. In all of these lives, you're gonna have equipment that you can either buy, obtain as an enemy drop, or you can get them from various NPCs, or even make them yourself to get better stat effects like your helmet, gloves, necklace, shoes, etc. Your weapons have 5 ranks, making them stronger, but your armor doesn't, and you can use different ranking recipes to get higher level weapons. You also have 4 different quality levels that is gonna be the result of the crafting minigames that we're gonna talk about later. These lives are very fun, especially if you love bounty hunting. We saw that we can hunt down some phantoms and stuff like that in this new game, so it's gonna be fun. Plus, we have these procedurally generated dungeons, so I am excited. And the first life that I'm probably gonna get is the Paladin. You're gonna get a longsword to fight, and you're gonna get a shield to block the enemy's attack. This one is perfect for a quick series of attacks and a shield to protect yourself, and as you level up, you can learn some counter attacks which can land after you do a perfect block. So that means if you block an attack at the right time, you can unleash a follow-up attack and deal some damage to the enemy. Of course, you also have some special abilities to deal even more damage. It seems like we have a skill tree to choose from, so it's gonna be fun to make our own character builds. Mercenary is all about your great sword. This great sword is a 2-handed weapon, so you're not gonna be able to have a shield on you to protect you. Using a great sword means that your attacks are slow, but you're gonna be doing a lot more damage than the longsword, for example. And you're gonna be learning a lot of fun combos to maximize your damage output. In this live trailer, we can see that we can roll out of the enemy's way, which is great, and then you can use things like charge attacks to get extra damage on the enemy. Some of the attacks in this life look amazing, they look so fun, so if you love what you're seeing, this life might be a good one for you. As a magician, you use your staff. This is perfect if you prefer to target your enemies from a distance and you like to deal with some elemental damage. In the 3DS version, for example, we had a variety of elemental skills. So we had things like fire, water, wind, and earth. It's gonna be interesting to see if we have even more elementals to enjoy in this new entry. You can also roll out of enemies' attacks. Seems like there's also like stances that you can take, so it seems very interesting, and we can see that the devs can pull off some sick moves to take down this dragon, for instance. The Hunter is another life that is perfect for you if you prefer to, just stay away. You don't like to be up close and personal like I do with enemies. You like to hit them from far away. You can probably use a Hunter life. You can click the R stick to lock onto an enemy, so this is gonna be a lot easier for you to make sure you do hit the enemy. And the trick with this life is to roll away from an enemy and then land as many hits as you can before they close in on you or before they hit you with their own long-range attack. We see in the Hunter Life trailer that there are special abilities that you can use, like the arrow rain, which is gonna rain down a bunch of arrows on your enemy. It looks really cool. It also seems like we can make different types of arrows that will have different status effects on the enemies. Poison is gonna deal certain damage every few seconds. Paralysis will cause the enemy to be immobile for a period of time. Burn is gonna decrease their general defense and magic defense. Chill is gonna slow down their movement, and sleep is gonna make them defenseless. And that means that you're gonna get an increased damage by using an awakening blow. That sounds hilarious. This is Google Translate's doing, so bear with me. Next up, we have the Gathering Lives. These require different tools, and in the 3DS version, these tools can be upgraded by either buying them, obtaining them from bounties, shops, or NPCs, and also by finding them in chests. And of course, when you craft them, if you do well in the mini games, you're gonna get some bonus stats, which is gonna make you stronger. Angler is perfect for those of you who love fishing. You're gonna be using a fishing rod, and we've seen a bit of the fishing life where we're looking at the fishing minigame. So in this trailer, they're trying to reel in the plains lordfish, which is at level 12. And the devs gave us a tip that said, adjust your rod and try to remain calm when the fish starts to move quickly. I'm gonna need to play the game and test it out for myself so I get a better look into how difficult the reeling minigame is going to be. Woodcutter is about using your axe to chop down various trees, and in its own gameplay spotlight trailer, we can see that there are different strikes that we can use to deplete a tree's HP bar and gather its materials. This life is going to consume SP based on the type of the tag that you use. And we can see a feature that is called Excellent Gathering, where we can inflict a large amount of damage on the last hit to a gathering spot, and that means that it's going to yield us more materials than normal. In this life, you're gonna be looking for a sweet spot on the tree to deal the maximum amount of damage, and you can see that the character tests out different hits on the tree until they find the sweet spot, which gives the damage number in pink, meaning you're dealing max damage. The farmer life is the new life that's been added to this new entry. Here is where you're gonna tend to your crops. We've seen a bit of the farming where we have these 3x3 plots with some carrots ready to harvest, and you're gonna need to hit them a few times to pick them up. And if you use your dig ability, you're gonna use your stamina up slowly, but you can also charge up a harvest and you can then harvest the entire area, but this one is gonna take a fair chunk of your stamina. However, you know, it's a lot faster, so it's about you choosing which way you wanna go with. Miner is perfect for those of you who love exploring mines and caves, and you're gonna be using your pickaxe for this one. We saw a gameplay trailer where they showed us how mining works. Basically, you go to the caves or various outdoor locations to find them, and you're gonna have to deplete the ore's HP bar to grab its materials, so it's very similar to woodcutting. This one also has the Excellent Gathering feature, and it also requires SP. You can do regular attacks or a powerful attack, and you're gonna be again looking for the perfect spot to hit, so you can get the most damage. The last and the biggest category of all, I know a lot of you actually are really interested in this one. We're gonna get into it, but before we get into that, hello, you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If this video is helping so far, consider supporting the channel and everything that I do here. These videos take a lot of time to make and create for you, so I can always deliver you top-notch quality. So visit my Ko-fi page or my Patreon or become a YouTube channel member for plenty of perks. And also, simply squishing the like and subscribe buttons goes a long way. So let's talk about the gathering lives. Now, all of these lives have this mini game that you're gonna have to pass, and it's gonna impact how good the quality of your item is going to be. The mini game requires some quick time button presses, so these presses will need you to go around and move to the indicated location on the screen, and then you do one of the following: either press quickly, hold, or rotate. In the 3DS version, these minigames got tedious very quickly because it's literally the same minigame over and over again, and when you have so many lives doing the same thing, it can get really boring. Hopefully this new entry will have a little bit more, you know, pizzazz and fun into the minigame, but so far, based on the trailers that I've seen, it just seems to be the same thing. Also, upon translating the live trailer footage for the Alchemist life, seems like companions can craft for us at times, so maybe that will remedy the problem. We'll see about that. Anyways, with these crafting lives, you're gonna have to gather resources, so many times you might also have to dabble with a gathering life, and then you can craft various recipes depending on the life you choose and the level that you're at. The first life in this category is the Alchemist life. This one requires you using flasks to craft various medicine, potions, bombs, and accessories. I would say this life is amazing as a complementary life for pretty much anything, but also specifically any of the combat lives, because you're gonna be able to heal yourself, buff yourself, stuff like that, and also do a lot of damage to the enemies using bombs. So this might be a good life to have in general. Cook is gonna use frying pans to cook food. This one has a gameplay trailer where we take a look at the minigame required to make different recipes, and these recipes, again, they usually revolve around quick button presses, so it might test your reflexes a little bit. And in this one, we can see that our character is making the Great Prairie Soup, and as you can see, different recipes require different cooking levels to unlock, and each recipe will have a variety of required ingredients. So in this trailer, we can see that we also needed the angler life and the farmer life to be able to make this dish. The tailor life uses needles, and it's gonna let you make different gear, furniture, and accessories. And as you can see, there are different recipes with different levels that you can make. This one is perfect to have as a complementary life to, again, any of the combat lives or any of all of the lives in general. Carpenter is gonna use your saw, and it lets you craft weapons, tools, and furniture. This one is yet again perfect as a complementary life to the other lives. And in a recent Carpenter life trailer spotlight, we see that the devs create an oak log as well as a custom southern sofa, which required the oak log that they made in the same trailer. They also tell us that we can choose the design that we want. Apologies if any of these translations are wrong. Google Translate is the one telling me what all of these stuff mean. Blacksmith uses hammers to craft weapons, armor, and tools. I don't believe this one received a dedicated trailer yet, or if it will at all. I know it had like a song, but anyways, it follows the same basic mechanics of all the other lives in the category. All of these classes are perfect to complement any of the combat and gathering lives, so this way you can ensure that you're getting better tools, weapons, armor, and you're making yourself a lot more powerful. Finally, we have a new life, which is called the Artist, and this one is all about creating paintings, sculptures, and interior design, so I'm guessing this one is gonna be perfect for those of you who love home decor and decorating your entire island, because you do have terraforming in this game. Now, in the 3DS version, all of these lives had a variety of challenges that we needed to complete to actually rank up and eventually master each of the lives. And some of these challenges were so tedious and boring. For example, you had some that said chop 500 trees, or mine 500 ores, or defeat this many of X enemy in Y region, etc., while others were actually fun and a little bit more challenging to do. The game overall looks amazing. I can't wait to stream it tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you're thinking about, hey, do I want to buy Fantasy Life or maybe a Rune Factory, I have the perfect video for that, so watch that next. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to the Game Dimension, Jake, Logan, Neha, and Will for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.